First Alert Weather Extra starts now.
Well, it is the first day of meteorological spring. Chief Meteorologist Wes Wyatt, so glad you're with us for this episode of First Alert Weather Extra. And we've got an interesting show for you tonight. A lot coming up here that we're going to talk about. Of course, one of the big stories in the news right now, and all our thoughts and prayers certainly going out to folks in Ukraine and what's happening there. And one thing we want to talk about is just what's the weather like there this time of the year? You know, what kind of challenges are we seeing with respect to the weather conditions in that region? We're going to talk more about that coming up. Big news in the weather instrumentation world today. The latest GOES satellite, geostationary satellite, was launched today. We're going to have that coming up, and it is the anniversary of the Enterprise tornado, and we're going to talk about that event and check in with a special interview coming up with meteorologist Lauren Linehan. Let's get to our weather. First Alert weather headlines, and we got some frost overnight, warmer afternoons on the way. Next big thing will be rain early next week. A good chance for some wet weather, so take advantage of the nice weather that we've had. Now, I know it was beautiful today. If you maybe sat some of the plants out on the back porch to take in some of that sunshine and some of the warmer conditions. Not too bad at the moment. We have 60s and 50s out there, but tonight temperatures will fall into the 30s. There could be some patchy frost, so I'd bring in the plants just to be safe if you have any sensitive vegetation around the house. Looking at the radar, I just want to point out we were detecting it looked like it maybe either a controlled burn, big fire. There was a large smoke plume here in Shelby County. You could see it from our Chelsea camera at Boardman Carr Law Firm, but that westerly flow is taking that back to the east and southeast direction towards Sylacauga. So just want to point that out for folks in Childersburg, down to Highway 280 there towards Sylacauga and Oak Grove. If you notice, it's kind of hazy tonight. That's what it's all about with that wind coming at us from the west direction. But that breeze lessens up tonight. Temperatures cooling off into the 40s and a mostly clear sky for tonight. Checking out the average low went 38. Will be a little bit colder. Some of those areas to the north last night we dropped to 34. Our low forecast low was 35. We dropped to 34 degrees. And tonight, there's going to be some areas out there where we could see some frost early in the day, early tomorrow morning. And looking ahead into the next few days, by Thursday and Friday, I mean, we're talking upper 70s. Look at those conditions out there. Some great weather for working in the yard over the next few days. That sunshine hangs on, and it looks like that dry weather continues for most of the weekend. There could be a shower in the mix, a stray shower for Saturday and into Sunday. Want to take you over to some video, though, and show you right now that launch.
3, 2, 1. And liftoff. Liftoff of NOAA's GOES-T, our newest weather sentinel in the sky to help keep us safe here on the ground.
So there you go, a successful launch of GOES-T, which will become GOES-18. Right now we have the GOES-R series of satellites. Those are geostationary satellites. They orbit in conjunction with the Earth. We actually have satellites that go pole to pole, polar orbiters, but we also have the geostationary satellites that orbit, that monitor the western hemisphere, monitor the western U.S., also the eastern U.S. The GOES-17 over the western U.S. had a glitch in the cooling system, so actually what will happen is this satellite will replace that as GOES-18. 17 is going to be there orbiting the Earth as kind of a backup. But, these satellites are critical in what we do every day to forecast. There's so much, even on those sunny days, that goes into developing these critical forecasts. These things can help to determine sea surface temperatures, help us forecast hurricanes and tropical storms. And now it's just incredible that we receive images every 15 minutes, high-resolution satellite images. We can see snow cover. We can see where wildfires are happening, map out lightning, but it's really incredible what these imagers on these advanced satellites can provide. And these satellites, they look at the Earth through various parts of the spectrum, the visible and infrared, and that's how come at night we can get cloud cover data, is because of these different sensors on these satellites. But without satellites, can you imagine being on the coast, not even knowing we had a hurricane out in the Atlantic, but with these satellites, we can see these things coming together and really develop those forecasts. But a monumental launch today in weather technology. These satellites, like everything we have around the house, they have to be replaced. They last about 15 years, and then we have to replace those satellites. But this one has a better cooling system, and actually they're equipped now to actually detect space weather. But it's nice to see that we have some new satellites there that will be providing data very soon. Well, on this day, we want to take you back to a day in history. I'll never forget we had a moderate risk for severe weather across Alabama, and even though we were covering severe weather and we were ready at any minute for some active weather to break out across west and central Alabama, we saw a tornado touch down in Enterprise and Enterprise High School. Lauren, you're going to take us back, show us this event, but we remember it like it was yesterday. The Enterprise tornado, certainly one of the biggest tornado disasters in our state's history.
Oh yeah, that's right, Wes. And I know this has impacted the Wiregrass region in South Alabama for years and over a decade now. And you see behind me the 8 high school students who were killed by this tornado. So they are known as the Enterprise 8. And there was also one elderly woman who was killed, Miss Edna, who when I spoke with their family 5 years ago when I worked in Dothan, they considered Miss Edna to be their guardian angel. But if you think about this, this was in March 1st, 2007. And that was 15 years ago. These students would have been in their 30s. They would have been my age, living their life. So you just have to wonder how they went about their lives. But as we look forward to that video, or look backwards at that video from 15 years ago, we certainly saw some massive damage from an EF4 tornado that ripped across the city. So it actually hit Enterprise High School, hence why we saw a wall collapse and 8 students died when they were taking shelter. And then it also hit another home that killed Miss Edna, the elderly woman who's considered the guardian angel of the Enterprise 8. But this cost over $350 million in damage back in 2007. And Enterprise High School was actually rebuilt because they couldn't have the structure as is. It was rebuilt in 2010. And I actually went to visit the campus 5 years ago when I was working in Dothan at our sister station, WTVY. And it looked like a college campus. It is a very nice facility. And one of the best parts about this high school is that they have a built-in storm center, or a built-in storm shelter. And not only when there are tornado warnings in Coffee County do they let their students go in there, but they will open it up during events where you are under a tornado warning, open it up as a community shelter. And so I hope we have more situations like this in the future where we see more community shelters being built, but we're certainly thinking of the families today. Again, you just imagine what could they be doing in this day and age. So major thoughts and prayers to the family and friends and peers of the Enterprise 8. And I just have to say, after speaking with them 5 years ago, it's amazing to see, even after all these years, the resilience and strength that they have to this day. Wes.
Yeah, and Lauren, you know, with that event, that certainly has opened up a lot of conversation, you know, about severe weather. And, you know, we have a lot of school systems we let out during severe weather. And that one event always stands out and comes up in conversation, Enterprise, Alabama. All right, here's what's on the way. We're talking a lot about a war that is underway right now in Ukraine. And we're going to look at the weather side of Ukraine and the kind of climatology that we typically see during this time of the year. Of course, we're going to dive into our weather, take you beyond the 7-day with Jill. And we've got the AM forecast with Mickey coming up. The Next Big Thing gives you a heads up days ahead of the next big storm system. The Next 24 gives you the most accurate and updated look at tomorrow. And the Next 60 gives you a 60-minute advantage against Mother Nature. Knowing what's next, days, hours, or minutes away, this is why we First Alert.
When we declare First Alert Weather Day, it's all hands on deck. We're on your side and in your hand with the First Alert Weather app. While Wes and the rest of the team track changes moment to moment, the app keeps you prepared and safe with video and alerts for your neighborhood. And if the power goes out, no worries, you can stream us anywhere. It's easy and it's always on. Stay ahead of Alabama weather. Just scan and tap and have the First Alert Weather app. This is why we First Alert.
On Good Day Alabama, we treat severe weather with the highest priority. It's more than just meteorologists. Everyone plays a part. Having more reporters in more places takes you beyond the First Alert, showing you the impact that we see on radar. We're live in your neighborhood when you need us. On air, online, and on the app. That's the advantage of having the most reporters on your side. That's the advantage of Good Day Alabama.
Our lives revolve around planning for what's next, like the next ball game.
One hot dog with ketchup? It's the same with weather. That's why we're on your side with the next big thing, the next 60 and the next 24. knowing what's next days, hours, or minutes away.
This is why we first alert. Who puts ketchup on a hot dog?
Getting live breaking news and local updates has never been easier. That's because we're on your side with the WBRC streaming app. Need updates between newscasts? You can catch up quick here. And when we're live on TV, we're live here too. Just search WBRC on your Roku, Amazon Fire, or Apple TV. WBRC Fox 6 News is on your side.
All right, welcome back. Here's a look at our First Alert Almanac for the day. Tuscaloosa 69 for a high, a morning low of 34 degrees. Same for Birmingham and Anniston. Big temperature spread out there. We dropped to 34 during the overnight hours, but you can see we got very close to freezing, and that's going to be the situation again for us tonight. It looks like those temperatures there will drop off into the range where we could actually have some frost out there early in the day. Coming up right now, we're going to check in with meteorologist Jill Gilardi and bring Jill in. Jill, one of the big stories right now that we're talking about is what's happening in Ukraine, and we wanted to talk a little bit about the weather situation there. I was noticing the Ukrainian Hydrometeorological Society organization. That's where you can find a lot of the weather data for what's happening in that region at the moment. But I did hear one report today that mentioned snow in that area, and tell us a little bit more about what you've been able to find.
It's been very cold, and I did want to show this video of, we have families, mothers and children, and they, in some cases, these refugees from Ukraine have been outside for 2 days straight. So again, they have been in miserable winter conditions, and again, they've been struggling to get food, stay warm. Some of them even a little bit delirious today, I was hearing on the news out there. I mean, being exposed to that kind of weather for a long period of time, I mean, just imagine what it could do to you. So again, yeah, we're going to talk about what they've been dealing with. Again, those temperatures this time of year are generally in the mid-30s for highs, average low around 24 degrees. And as we go through the rest of this month, it will gradually warm up for them. But in the short term, of course, that's what we're focused on. They've seen some snow today in Kyiv, and it looks like more snow is backing into the western part of the country. And it looks like, again, a lot of those refugees were going from Ukraine to Poland. And it's even colder back towards the west, believe it or not. And again, we're going to be seeing maybe some snow at times, but certainly if it's cold enough for snow, you know that we're talking about temperatures generally in the 30s. Now, here's a look at the forecast for Kyiv. This is going as we go into tomorrow and Thursday. Remember, they're like 8 hours ahead of us, so it's kind of weird talking about the time frame right now. But it is going to be one of those situations where it's very cold. And again, imagine standing outside for not only just 20 minutes, we're talking about hours. So these people are bundled up, trying to stay warm. And so our thoughts, our prayers are out for them. And hopefully, they can stay warm and survive these conditions as they take refuge into another country, into Poland. So that is the way it's been looking out there in Ukraine. Very cold, winter, constantly, every day there this time of year. Wes?
Fascinating stuff there, Jill, and I noticed that in the Ukraine area, it's an area very favorable for tornadoes. They've had some very significant tornadoes in that part of the world, and a lot of that data, you'll find those temperatures in Celsius as you look at the conditions there in Ukraine, and certainly thoughts and prayers with Ukraine at this time. As we take you to break, just to let you know, coming up, we're going to talk more about our weather here at home in Alabama. Looks like we got 70s on the way, a chance of rain and storms next week. We've got the 7-day and beyond the 7-day coming up after the break.
Every morning on Good Day Alabama, we know the news that matters the most to you is the news that hits closest to home.
And we know that to tell the best story means going to where the story is. That's why having more reporters in more places is so essential.
Giving you more local stories that impact your family, your school, and your safety.
On air, online, and on the app.
That's the advantage of having the most reporters on your side. That's the advantage of Good Day Alabama.
I hear from people all the time with questions about healthcare, their insurance, and the safety of certain treatments. I'm Morgan Hightower, and I investigate these stories because if I were being taken advantage of, or if my family couldn't get the help they needed, I would want to know how to take action. That's why WBRC Fox 6 News investigates. We're on your side, getting answers, keeping you informed and safe. Contact us when you need a team on your side.
Get pinpoint locations down to your street level on the First Alert Weather app. You can download by searching WBRC in your app store. That's accuracy you can plan on.
I hear from people all the time having problems with their landlord or worry about being ripped off by a bad business. I'm Josh Gann, and I investigate stories like these because if I had questions about protecting my finances or how to save more money, I would want the best advice available. That's why WBRC Fox 6 News investigates. We're on your side getting answers, keeping you informed and safe. Contact us when you need a team on your side.
Get First Alert weather and breaking news. Follow us on Twitter. Search at WBRC News.
Get First Alert weather and breaking news. Follow us on Facebook. Search at WBRC News.
You'll notice into this weekend, we've got some sunshine, and then next week we're talking about a chance of rain returning, perhaps some storms there by Monday and Tuesday. You'll notice that rain chance jumps up to around 60%, 73 degrees there for a high temperature for our Monday, and plan for some wet weather as we go into next week. All right, looking at the morning temperatures for tomorrow, starting off near freezing in a lot of spots out there. We'll drop close to 38 around Birmingham, showing 35 in Tuscaloosa, 35 here in Anniston and Talladega early in the day. I mentioned earlier, if you sat the plants out, I know it was a beautiful day. Some of those sensitive vegetation, you may want to bring those plants back in tonight. Just be safe, even though most spots will stay above freezing. It's going to be cold in the morning, but nice warm up back into the 70s tomorrow. Central areas warming up. Just some pick locations here. Bessemer around 73. Maplesville here in Chilton County. Montevallo around 73. Vincennes, nice warm up. There's East Alabama from Weiss Lake all the way back towards Ohatchee and Talladega, Munford, Sylacauga, Rockford in the 70s there for tomorrow. So enjoying that sunshine, and that nice weather is going to be with us. It looks like through most of the weekend, but next week the global deterministic data is locked in on another setup next week where we could see some rain that stays with us for a few days. We have another front that moves in. Main upper storm with this, though, tracks well north, so it starts to stall out across the state, and then it starts to actually waver back north again Monday night and into Tuesday. We'll have a lot of rain here in this kind of setup. There's a chance you could get some periods of rain, and we really won't be able to get into the real specifics on timing during the day Monday until we get some of that high resolution data, but I would plan for a good chance of rain for Monday night. And then again into Tuesday, notice how that wet weather is going to kind of set up in here as that system stalls out. Not really seeing a major risk of severe weather at this point, but we're watching that closely with that kind of system in here. It is that time of the year. You know, we're getting into that spring severe weather season as we move ahead. Next week, I think one of the big concerns to start the week off will be that potential for maybe some localized flooding in a few spots, as you'll see that chance of rain goes up. But how about this weekend, Saturday and Sunday? Look at that temperature Sunday afternoon, close to 80 degrees. I know I mentioned it yesterday. We're closing in. Next weekend, we've got the daylight saving time. We're talking about tree pollen levels cranking up. I even noticed in the neighborhood today, Jill, I had a couple of trees just starting to bloom. You could see some of the buds on the trees and even some flowers out there. It's warming up quickly, and as we go beyond the 7-day, you know, next week with that system bringing rain, I know you were taking a close look at some of that long-range data. It seems like still question marks regarding any potential for severe weather.
Yeah, it's still a ways out, and we'll have to monitor, obviously, when we get closer for either the potential for severe weather or even flooding if we get more storms moving over the same place at one period of time. Now, 8 to 14 days out beyond the 7-day, we are forecast to have above average precipitation. So that will be something we'll be looking at, especially if it's were to combine with temperatures that are above normal. Now, there is a chance we're going to be kind of closer to normal, 8 to 14 days. You can kind of catch a trend if you've been watching us past couple of days or even late last week. We went from above average to, well, things might be changing in the long term. And in terms of our high temperature forecast, 6 to 15 days out, what is new showing up today is a cool down as we go into not this weekend, but maybe next weekend. And again, we're talking about those temperatures that could dip into the 40s for highs. If that were to pan out, that would mean we'd have a chance to maybe get into that freezing range again. So that's why we've been stressing Now's not the time to start putting out your plants. We always have that late freeze and frost. We get a little burst of, hey, we're going to warm up, and then it goes right back to some cold. So again, just want to give you that first alert to hold off. We will have to be patient a little longer until we know that it's good to go. What do they say? Wait till the end of April, beginning May, and then you're good to go, Wes?
Good Friday is always my garden planting time. Always wait. My grandfather always told me that, and it hasn't let me down so far. Wait until after Good Friday, but good stuff there, Jill. And I know you're going to be watching that long-range forecast. We've been watching, the beyond the 7-day really panned out for this week, and Jill's been doing a great job on those long-range forecasts. So you'll have to check in here each and every night. All right, live look from Glencoe right now, and 55 degrees here in East Alabama. It'll be another cold one. When you see that dew point right there at 38, that's kind of the low point. So when you're forecasting temperatures, we'll drop into the 30s there. We'll get close to 39, 38 degrees there easily with those dew points in that general range tonight. All right, we're going to walk you through the 7-day again coming up, and we're also going to check in with Mickey Ferguson for that out-the-door forecast for tomorrow morning as we continue right here on First Alert Weather Extra.
Getting live breaking news and local updates has never been easier. That's because we're on your side with the WBRC streaming app. Need updates between newscasts? You can catch up quick here. And when we're live on TV, we're live here too, giving you more ways to get caught up with everything happening where you live. Plus, exclusive videos from your First Alert weather team. It's easy to use and it's free. Just search WBRC on your Roku, Amazon Fire, or Apple TV. WBRC Fox 6 News is on your side.
You've got enough to worry about every day. That's why the First Alert weather team is on your side, so you can plan with confidence and take the worry out of weather. With exclusive First Alert AccuTrack, we pinpoint storms before they arrive. And with Weather Every 6, you are always informed. Alabama's weather changes fast, but we're working even faster, updating and alerting you first. We know your plans are important. This is why we First Alert.
Every morning on Good Day Alabama, we're on your side, trying to get you where you're going safely. First Alert Traffic updates you on slowdowns and gives you alternate routes. Having more reporters covering the roads you drive on gives you even more info to help you know more about why it happened and when it will be cleared. On air, online, and on the app. That's the advantage of having the most reporters on your side. That's the advantage of Good Day Alabama.
I get calls and emails all the time from people wanting to know how cities, counties, and the state are spending their tax dollars. I'm Jennifer Horton, and I investigate how your tax dollars are being used because I don't want your money or mine wasted or fraudulently spent by politicians in power. That's why WBRC Fox 6 News investigates. We're on your side, following the paper trail, asking the tough questions, and giving you the facts. Contact us when you need a team on your side.
Well, as we check out the out-the-door forecast for tomorrow morning, tonight, I mentioned that temperature tumbling around 38 in the morning, so you will need the jacket early in the day. But this weather setup that we're in this week, it's jacket weather in the morning by 9, 10 o'clock with the sunshine. It helps out with those cooler conditions during the morning. It's quickly back to the short sleeves. Now, one thing I want to point out for tomorrow and the rest of this week, we get into March and especially into April that sun angles more direct, so it doesn't take long for a sunburn to develop. It can sneak up on you quickly this time of the year, so don't forget the sun protection, the sunscreen out there working in the yard for tomorrow. I mentioned Mickey. We actually have some nice weather photos that we've been receiving on the First Alert weather app with all this nice weather out there. I want to thank Kim and Northport for sharing this beautiful photo today. Let's check in with Mickey. Some more photos that you've been sharing with us. We like to share those right here on First Alert Weather Extra.
All right, before we leave you this evening, I want to show you some of the pictures sent in by our viewers through our First Alert Weather app, and you can send those in too. But this is from Gary Ernest from Springville, Alabama. We got a sunrise there. So, by the way, there's that QR code if you want to download our First Alert Weather app. You scroll to the bottom to submit the photos. We've got a couple of images here from Sharon Gill. This is a sunrise at Lay Lake. Got a little bit of fog in that view. And let's take another view. The fog gets a little bit more thick right there. And then the sunshine breaks through the fog. And The fog lifts and burns off. Here's a final view from Amanda Clay. This is from Chandler Mountain in Steele, Alabama. Just the glow of the sunshine for another day. Absolutely gorgeous. So if you'd like to send in a picture, first you download the weather app and you scroll down to the very bottom and you see an area to submit photos. Be sure and send them on in and we can show your photo on our Weather Extra program.
That's right, Mickey. We love showing those weather photos that you share with us here on First Alert Weather Extra. And just a reminder, each day, Monday through Friday, you can find us right here 6:30 to 7 o'clock. First Alert Weather Extra streaming on the weather app and our streaming app that you can download for devices like Apple TV, Amazon Fire TV, and Roku. All right, 7-day forecast here. Looking good through Saturday and Sunday. We got a nice weekend overall. Saturday, Sunday, can't rule out a stray shower. We did have a 10% chance of rain for Saturday and Sunday. We just took that off, and next week, that's when we got the real rainfall coming in here around Monday and Tuesday. Looks like a wet start to next week, and we'll have much more on that coming up in your forecast tonight. Join us live for the news. We actually have the presidential address tonight, so we'll be on after that with your local news weather right here on WBRC Fox 6. Be sure to join us.